As we move on with the program, to formally welcome you all to the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon annual celebrations and the second International Conference on Frontiers in Chemical Technology, I would like to invite now Professor Janita Lenage to introduce our Institute President, Professor Namal Priyantha, to the audience before inviting him formally to welcome you all to this event and to deliver the presidential address.
Good morning to all of you, distinguished guests, all the members, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to present the citation of Professor H.M.D. Namal Priyantha, who is the current president of Institute of Chemistry Ceylon. Senior Professor Namal Priyantha is an eminent chemist who has held significant leadership roles in several organizations, local and abroad. He dedicated his academic career to more than 3 decades at the Department of Chemistry, University of Peradeniya. Professor Namal Priyantha has an impressive academic track record. He graduated from the University of Peradeniya with a BSc Special Degree in Chemistry in 1982 and was awarded with the Bhikaji Fermiji Khan Gold Medal for the best achievement. Then he joined the department as an assistant lecturer. He holds a PhD from Hawaii University, USA in electrochemistry and studied interfacial behavior and analytical applications in chemically modified electrodes. During his PhD career in Hawaii, he was awarded the Departmental Research Fellowship in 2 consecutive years for being an outstanding researcher, and further identified as an outstanding teaching assistant as well by the American Chemical Society Hawaii section and by the Graduate Student Organization of the University of Hawaii. Having completed the PhD at the age of 28, with an excellent GPA and a strong research record, he was recruited to the University of Hawaii as an assistant professor, specially to teach quantum mechanics, his pet area in chemistry, and to initiate a research program in electrochemistry. After serving for over 3 years, he returned to his alma mater to serve the nation and joined the Department of Chemistry at University of Peradeniya as a senior lecturer. Professor Namal Priyantha has pioneered research in several areas, including low-cost methodologies for treatment of industrial effluents, chemically modified electrodes for detection of pesticides, and in chemically improved important compounds, corrosion inhibition by natural substances, and atmospheric monitoring and modeling. He has trained over 70 postgraduate students of PhD, MPhil, and MSc, and about 75 undergraduates, mainly in physical chemistry and analytical chemistry. He is a co-author of over 150 publications in refereed journals and over 250 local and international communications. Contribution for a USC patent and sensor devices for structural health monitoring, and the author of many books for chemistry students. He was able to secure the Hiran Tilakaratna Award for Outstanding Achievements in Research from the University Grants Commission. Further, he received a research fellowship from the Stanford Research Institute International in California to spend 2 years on sabbatical leave to investigate corrosion of superalloys under extreme conditions and diffusion coating for corrosion inhibition. His research contribution has also been commended at many research sessions held at the University of Peradeniya. He has obtained more than 20 research grants, both locally and internationally. He has been invited as the keynote speaker and as a resource person in many scientific forums, both local and international. He has also served on many occasions as a visiting professor at the University of Brunei and as a visiting scholar in many universities in Taiwan. Senior Professor Namal Priyantha has a relatively high H index of 33 and an I-10 index of 74 with about 3,500 citations. He has been recognized as the third best scientist in Sri Lanka in chemical sciences in 3 consecutive years, 2021, 2022, and 2023, according to the AD Scientific Index. Professor Namal Priyantha was promoted to the grade of professor at the relatively young age of 40, also became the director of the Postgraduate Institute of Science of Peradeniya and served for over 4 years. He initiated many new programs while being the director of the PGIS. He is at present the editor-in-chief of the newly initiated International Journal of Environmental Issues and the chairperson of the Board of Studies in Environmental Sciences of the PGIS. He was the president of Section E2 of the Sri Lanka Association for the Advancement of Science in 2009, and the General Secretary of the National Academy of Sciences of Sri Lanka from 2019 to 2023. He has served the Institute of Chemistry in several capacities, visiting senior professor and dean of the College of Chemical Sciences, and now as the president. He has also made significant contributions toward many activities at the institute during his tenure as the president. Professor Namal Priyantha's family is a unique family, being his wife and 2 children are also chemists. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce Senior Professor Namal Priyantha, the President of the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon, 2023-2024.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Professor Jantaliyanagi, President-elect of the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon, for giving the nice introduction. Dr. Ale Palamo, Head of Global Inclusion, Royal Society of Chemistry UK, and Executive Board Member of Commonwealth Chemistry. Our Chief Guest of the occasion, Professor Sabu Thomas, the Chairman, Trivandrum Engineering Science and Technology Research Park, Mahatma Gandhi University, and also the former Vice Chancellor of the Mahatma Gandhi University, guest of honor of the occasion. Other members of the head table, distinguished awardees, plenary speakers, keynote speakers, council members and past presidents of the Institute, distinguished invitees, members of statutory committees and subcommittees of the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon, fellows and members of the Institute, authors of papers to be presented in many technical sessions, members of the organizing committee, ladies and gentlemen. As the president of the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon, I warmly welcome you all for this very important event marking the 53rd annual sessions, 83rd anniversary celebrations, and the 2nd International Conference on Frontiers in Chemical Technology. As the President, I stand here to deliver the presidential address of this council year. So as there's a mixed audience today at this occasion, I would first give a brief overview of the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon, and followed by the highlights of the events that we were able to accomplish during this council year, and finally, some aspects on the theme here, the chemical science for technological advancement, empowering the future. So I'll begin with this photograph. Institute of Chemistry Ceylon is in fact the Chemical Society of Ceylon. The picture was taken in 1941, probably during the establishment of the Chemical Society of Ceylon, a historical picture. And then later, the Chemical Society of Ceylon was reconstituted and named as the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon, the name we are still carrying. And it was mainly done in 1971 to initiate professional programs. A little later, in 1972, the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon was recognized by Act of Parliament number 15. The Institute of Chemistry Ceylon drafted its vision and mission, as you can see here, to popularize and strengthen chemistry and also to strengthen the profession of chemistry in Sri Lanka. And the pictures you can see here are the headquarters at the Mountain House in Rajaguriya, and the top left you can see the newly furbished council room of the institute. And in par with the mission and vision, the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon has these aims and objectives. To highlight a few: to promote and advance the science of chemistry and its applications in Sri Lanka, and also to advise local bodies on chemistry-related areas in the country, to promote chemical education at all levels, and also to foster and encourage original research in chemistry in the country, and also to maintain high standards in professional activities, and it liaises with other professional and scientific organizations, and more importantly, the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon has a responsibility to maintain and strengthen the profession of chemistry in Sri Lanka. Now there are several milestones, to name a few. The first program of the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon was introduced in 1973, Laboratory Technician Certificate course, LTCC. A few years later, the GIC, Graduateship in Chemistry program, was initiated in 1979, and the first batch was graduated in 1983. Then the Educational Committee was needed before the graduation of GIC, which was initiated in 1981, and the first publication, Chemistry in Sri Lanka, was introduced and launched in 1984, which has been continuing, and now 3 times a year we publish Chemistry in Sri Lanka as our official journal. And then LTCC program was later upgraded and renamed as the Diploma in Laboratory Technology, DLT, in the year 2000. More developments. Then the College of Chemical Sciences was established in the year 2001, having this logo here you can see. And having realized the importance of an honors degree in chemical science, the first batch was taken in 2020. And the most recent development, as you all witnessed, the second international conference on frontiers in chemical technology, which we are inaugurating now, and that will continue for 3 days. And very soon we'll be starting an MSc program in chemical analysis and quality assurance. Now, a few recognitions. The GIC program was recognized in 1986 as an alternative to a degree in science with chemistry as a subject. And it's recognized by the Royal Society of Chemistry. And our BSc degree in chemical science is accredited by the Ministry of Education. Our Institute of Chemistry has a council headed by the president, which is annually elected. And it has a responsibility to govern the institute. However, to run programs, the council at its first meeting, usually held in July of each year, appoints the statutory committees and subcommittees. Here you can see a picture of the first council of this council year, 2023-2024. The formal photograph you can see on the right. And The seated next to me is the President-elect, Professor Janita Liyanage, and on the other side of myself is Professor Hema Pathurana, the Vice President. And on some occasions, we do have some social events as well. Now, at the end of the last month council meeting in May, so we had a social gathering, and you can see the picture here, which was taken at the rooftop facility of the Adamantine House. And you can again notice President-elect, and also next to her is the Dean of College of Chemical Sciences. And then behind, next to myself is Professor Sudhanta Liyanage, and Professor Priyantha is also there, and other council members. Okay. Now more about educational programs of the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon, about the Diploma in Laboratory Technology. Now we have been able to graduate or complete 1,700 lab technicians who are now working in Sri Lanka and abroad. And very recently, on the 9th of this month, we inaugurated the 51st batch of the Diploma in Laboratory Technology. Then the graduate program and the BSc program in Chemical Science, we usually inaugurate together. So far, more than 2,000 graduate chemists have been produced through the GIC program, and recently established BSc program, 100 BSc chemists have already been graduated. Then the 46th GIC batch and the 5th batch of the BSc program will be soon inaugurated in mid-July 2024. Okay. Now, having given a brief introduction of the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon and its programs, now let me highlight some activities of the council year 2023-2024. So this photograph was taken during the inauguration of the DLT program held last month, and you can see here in the big picture the parents and students who have gathered in our auditorium for the inauguration. And then this picture shows the inauguration, and before that we had the open day for the BSc program and the GSc program. And the chief guest you can see here, seated next to me, Ms. Udesha Bopitiya. She is the director of Lanmic Polymers, and I'm proud to say she is an alumnus of the institute. And on the bottom right, you can see Dr. Savitha Javardhana, who is comparing this event also, the coordinator of the enrollment campaign, working so hard to get the students registered. And we, the institute, is very proud to see the progress of our programs. Here you can see the annual output of graduate chemists, starting from 1983. With the first batch, we had only 4 graduate chemists, and there has a steadily increase, and we got the peak in 2020 with 163 graduates. And then the decline is due to COVID pandemic. Not only we, the entire world was hit by the COVID, but however, in 2022, with the pandemic, we were able to graduate 86, and now it is rising, and I'm sure it will rise up. And about the membership, the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon provides various membership categories: the fellows, members, associate members, licentiate members, and technician members. And on the top table, you can see the memberships given by the Institute in various categories in each year up to the present year, 2023-2024. Again, due to pandemic, 21-22 council year, we did not have a convocation. So therefore, the associate members who are the recent graduates was very less, but it was caught up in the following year, 2022-23, because we had 2 convocations. So there's a large number, and there's a gradual increase. The present year, the total is 221, so which I would say an increase when you compare to the total number of members of the past few years. And the bottom table gives the total number of fellowships, and the last column, the grand total up to now. The very bottom figure, 3,226, the total membership of the institute. So I'm proud to say that we have more than 3,000 members in all the categories. Now about the physical resources, although we have a 5-story building, adamant 10 house, and it is not enough for the expansion of our education and professional programs. Therefore, the council decided to get a building complex of 8 stories constructed in Marino Bay. And you can see in the top left, the 4 stories are nearing completion, and we frequently visit the facility to inspect the progress of the construction. And when the building construction is completed, it will look, as you see here on the right, with the maroon in the back, our color theme of the institute. And what human resources, I'm very happy to say that we have 9 full-time academic staff members with PhD qualifications who are trained chemists in several important and interdisciplinary areas of chemistry, together with about 60 visiting staff who come from various state universities, private sector universities, industries, and research institutes. And these visiting staff have diversified knowledge and also well-recognized personnel in the country. So we are happy to get the services of the visiting staff members as well. And the picture you can see here is the first professor among the internal academics, Professor Gobika Tirupurnadar. She's in the audience. Congratulations, Professor Gobika. And I'm sure the other internal staff members will follow her, reaching up on the educational or professional ladder. And other developments, so we are planning to initiate the services and publicity unit to strengthen our marketing, publicity, dissemination of knowledge, analytical services, and membership services. And also, we have a plan to establish another department, Department of Technology, to cater our services and our expertise to the field of technology together with chemistry. Now we, the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon, has many collaborations and cooperations and associations with foreign professional and education institutes. Here you can see some photos that were taken at the Commonwealth Chemistry Congress. It was the second Commonwealth Chemistry Congress. The first Commonwealth Chemistry Congress was held virtually due to COVID pandemic. This is therefore the first physical event of the Commonwealth Chemistry Congress, which was held in West Indies. A group of Sri Lankan chemists participated. You can see the middle figure of the bottom, Professor Anoja Attanayaka from the Institute of Ruhuna. Next to her is Professor Deshika Silva, who's here at the audience representing the University of Colombo. And next to her is our treasurer, Professor Priyantha. She is attached to University of California. And then on the other side, the gents, myself, I am from the University of Peradeniya. And then other two gentlemen, Dr. Samira Gunatilaka, our conference secretary, who is seated here at the head table. And between Dr. Samira Gunatilaka and myself is Dr. Udaya Sundar, again representing the institute. So it was a group representing the entire country. And very important picture here, the bottom right, and you can probably recognize our chief guest, Dr. Ale Palermo, who we met at the conference, Commonwealth Chemistry Congress. So I'm very much thankful, Dr. Ale Palermo, accepting our invitation to come here as the chief guest. And you can see we are all with our traditional costumes, and it was a social event of the conference. Another event, and I participated to represent Sri Lanka. This is the international conference, UPAC World Chemistry Congress in August 2023, held in The Hague, Netherlands. And many countries participated, about 50. So again, we, the Sri Lankan chemists, should be happy that we were able to represent the country. And then we also have many international events to popularize and strengthen the chemistry education among school children. And these photos were taken at the International Chemistry Olympiad, which was held in July last year in Switzerland. And this was a very vigorous selection that the committee usually does. The many rounds of local selections among many advanced level students recommended by the schools, and finally, the final round was selected, and the last year, the 4 Sri Lankan students participated, and they showed their colors in chemistry at this International Chemistry Olympiad competition, and together with them, Professor Shikari Silva and Dr. Chintaka Ratnavira participated. And then to continue on, more about international relations, a group of Thailand delegates visited the Institute in July 2023 to discuss how we proceed with collaborative programs, and that in fact became a success. And yesterday we had the pre-conference on chemistry education at the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon. And we had our main resource person, you can see here, Professor Supawan Tantionon, who is at the audience. So she was the main resource person yesterday at the pre-conference. And also on the bottom right figure, you can see the Dr. Surati Sakaria. She's also here at the audience. And there will be a session on the 3rd day of the conference, again on chemical education, and she is a resource person. Again, thank you, Professor Supawan Tantionon and Dr. Surati Sakaria for coming here to share their expertise. And not only that, we have the Women Chemist Society, initiated a few years ago with the leadership of our treasurer, Professor Priyantha. And one big event is the Global Women Breakfast. That is usually held in February of each year. And the picture here, you can see the group of women chemists who gathered at the Institute to celebrate the Global Women Breakfast. And the chief guest was from the Nusa Peradeniya, Professor Manawadevi Ganehenage, together with her, the guest of honor, Dr. Kala Peris, Director, Sri Lanka Center for Development Facilitation Consultancies. And in addition to this, the Women Chemist Committee does various activities to popularize chemistry among school children, and they visit schools, especially having less facilities to promote chemistry. The 2 pictures on the right, you can see 2 school events coordinated by the Women Chemist Committee, WCC. And about dissemination of knowledge in chemistry, that is again part of our aims and objectives. Every year we conduct many seminars, webinars, conferences, and I was able to get information for these 3 seminars. On the left seminar was along with the theme of this year, the Chemical Science for Technological Advancement, Challenges Ahead, which was organized in collaboration with the Organization Professional Assemblies in Sri Lanka, OPA, and you can see the picture of the president of OPA on the bottom left, and in the same advertisement you can see the 2 resource persons, Mr. Karyavasam, the leader of the hair carb company, and also next to her is Dr. Manipura, an independent environmental and engineering consultant. And the middle picture is for the seminar on food quality, safety, and role of accreditation. And the resource persons you can see here, Mr. Sompala, he is the director of the DLT program of the Institute and former government analyst. And then Dr. Teja Herath, representing ITI, and then Ms. Jayamanna, representing the Sri Lanka Accreditation Board. And one on the right is taken during another seminar on everything about tea, organized by Dr. Kushan Veerasil, you can see here, and the key resource person is Dr. Professor Nimal Punyasiri, again, the product of our institute. Now, a few more pictures to show you the efforts that we take to popularize chemistry among university students. So annually, we have this inter-university debating competition, and very recently, we had the final round, again at the institute premises. And the Institute of Chemistry group became the first, and second place went to Institute of Colombo, and the third one to University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. Then very recently, we had another event, inter-school chemistry quiz competition. And again, it was a big event coordinated by the committee headed by Dr. Laksiri. And you can see some pictures here. And initial rounds were held nationwide in 30 centers, and more than 200 students in schools participated. Stage 2, the final round was held at the institute to select 4 schools. And the first 3 are given here. The first place went to St. Michael's College, Batticlaw, the second place to Badula Central College, and the third place to Hartley College, Jaffna. Now, another event we had, now again due to this COVID pandemic, the Alumni Association of the Institute had lapsed, and it was revitalized very recently. And you can see here in the middle, Mr. Dayananda, who was the founder president of the Alumni Association, and many alumni participated, and it was reconstituted. And in the bottom left, you can see the interim committee of 10 alumni who are working hard now to re-establish the Alumni Association. And we also offer many services, and this was organized by the Social Affairs Committee of the Institute. And this workshop was organized mainly for level 4 students of the Institute who are doing research. And the workshop was on how to use statistics and statistical methods for their research. And the research person, you can see here on the top right figure, Dr. Dinesh Amadu Vikrama, again a product of our institute. And another service that we did, so I had a workshop. In fact, I had to participate at a workshop at Thurston College to, again, give my knowledge in physical chemistry to students who were about to sit the A-level exam last year. And the social activities, so this is again an annual event, our New Year festival organized by the Social Affairs Committee of the Institute. And many of us were with our traditional costumes. And you can see here in the middle next to me on the top left, Prashantani Pereira, Dean of the College of Chemical Sciences, and other staff members of the Institute. So this is a very recent event. A few days ago, staff of the Institute participated this Future Minds Expo held at BMICH. And you can see here in these pictures the stall of the Institute. So with that, I will now move on to some aspects of the theme, Chemical Science for Technological Advancement, Empowering the Future. I begin with the statement I quote, technology is a gift of God. After the gift of life, it is perhaps the greatest of God's gifts. It is the mother of civilization, of arts, and of sciences. Technology continues to grow to liberate mankind from the constraints of the past. The most revolutionary aspect of technology is its mobility. Anybody can learn it. It jumps easily over barriers of phrase and language, and its mobility is still increasing, I unquote. So you can see here the importance of technology, and technology together with chemistry. So the Institute always tries to go forward, overcoming barriers to contribute to the nation in the field of chemical science together with technology. As you all know, the science and technology are the key drivers to development because technological and scientific revolutions support many activities, including economic advances, improvements in health systems and education and infrastructure. Actually, the technological revolutions of the 21st century with digital revolution, or we call it the fourth industrial revolution, they are emerging from many sectors. Some of them are given here: the microprocessors, telecommunications, biotechnology, nanotechnology, and quantum computing. And together with the advances of chemical technology and realizing the importance of chemical technology for developments of the globe, the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, IUPAC, also identified 10 emerging technologies in chemistry in the year 2022, which are being continued even now. And these top emerging technologies are given here: aerogels, fiber batteries, sodium-ion batteries, etc. And some of these activities at research level are being conducted in Sri Lanka as well in various universities and research institutes. And these are, of course, are aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. And the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon also recognizes the importance of these emerging technologies, and also we are planning new programs along with these top emerging technologies, giving priority for such developments. And these technologies lead to many aspects: productive use of resources, and they favor more efficient transformations, and also they provide more sustainable solutions to various problems that we encounter in the world. And applications, there are many, many applications. Only few I have mentioned: more efficient batteries, and sodium-ion batteries are coming up, having understood the problems of lithium-ion batteries. And the precise sensors, now we should be able to detect contaminants, for example, at very, very low levels. So we need to have precise sensors, not only to use on Earth, but also in other out-of-space laboratories. And then personalized medicine, that is also an area that we should work on. So these technologies will change our world for the better, of course, if we use it properly. Then chemical science, earlier it was called the central science. Now it has become broader. It is now called the connecting science. So it connects all the other fields you can see here: the pharmaceuticals, engineering, and even business. So it connects everything, all the other areas in research and disciplines. Now, the Institute of Chemistry also recognizes the importance of chemistry as the connecting science, and we are now in our ladder to move up to have new programs in future parallel to the Sustainable Development Goals and the top 10 emerging technologies of IUPAC. And some programs are given here that we are planning: the BSc Honours Program in Chemical Technology, the Bachelor of Biosystems Technology, and BSc Program in Medical Laboratory Technology, and BSc Honours Degree in Polymer Science and Technology, and also many other master's degree programs. And chemists, we should be proud that chemists are able to provide solutions in diversified areas, including the improvement of life expectancy. Now, to strengthen further on the visibility of the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon, we, a few months ago, actually worked on this conference. Of course, at the beginning of the council year, the council decided that we should go for this, and we completed the first international conference on frontiers in chemical technology 3 years ago, but unfortunately, it was the COVID pandemic. But with the leadership of back then the president, Professor Priyantha, this was successfully conducted. And thereafter, we thought we were to go for the second international conference. Now we are thinking of, after completion of this, go for the third one in 2 years' time. And the second FCT, the International Conference in Frontiers in Chemical Technology, have many sub-themes again along with the emerging technologies of UPEC and the Sustainable Development Goals. You can see here the energy, environment, medicine, waste, food security, and also the women empowerment in chemistry. And although there are many women chemists, if you think of the global statistics, the percentage of men chemists are on the higher side, especially MPhils and PhDs. So therefore, it is needed to get this women chemists more and more established and expanded. So that is again, so we have a session on the third day on that. And then also on the third day, we have a session on chemical industry and academic research. That is also needed because there's a bridge, there should be a bridge between chemical industries and academic research. Somehow we have to overcome the barrier to get the advantages of chemistry in industry. So with that, I will spend a few more minutes to summarize my contribution to the field of chemical science for technological advancement and power in the future. So in my research group, so these areas are concentrated on. Then first two are on electrochemistry. So as you hear, it is my PhD training. So we investigate corrosion of metals and alloys under mild and aggressive conditions, and also corrosion being a spontaneous process. The inhibition of corrosion should be looked upon, and therefore we do research on corrosion inhibition of metals and low-grade alloys using economical and environmentally friendly substances, and also with their composites, including nanocomposites. And then about the biosorption, we also have research on value addition of natural substances and industrial byproducts to develop low-cost approaches for the removal of environmental pollutions. And also this research has now been extended towards commercialization. And we do research from bench up to the prototype situations. And then the last one, about the rainwater monitoring and modeling, that's again an important, and although there are databases on surface water quality, there is no database on rainwater quality even at global level. So the environmental scientists now are working on developing a database of rainwater quality in other countries also. So we are stepping towards that to use the rainwater quality to develop environmental models to predict future atmospheric conditions. Some specific results of my research. So I have only 2 slides. So now this is about this corrosion inhibition, and to study corrosion, we have to use a multi-technique approach, the Maslow's measurements, and then Tafel slope analysis, the electrochemical impedance spectroscopy or EIS, and together with open circuit potentials. So we use this multi-technique approach to monitor corrosion and also to find out whether the corrosion can be inhibited. And these semicircle plots you can see on the right are the Nyquist plots, the results of electrochemical impedance spectra, and where we identify the organic compounds having heterogroups, heteroatoms such as oxygen will increase the electron density on the metals so that the corrosion can be mitigated or inhibited. So we did a study again here to find out which functional groups can function better as corrosion inhibitors and which concentration would be the best. And the blue semicircle represents the blank having the smallest diameter of the semicircle, indicating that the corrosion happens very quickly and very fast. And when you have the larger diameter of semicircles, the inhibition happens in a better way. So we determine the corrosion inhibition efficiencies under various conditions, especially for low-grade alloys, so that we can develop approaches to inhibit corrosion in environmentally friendly and economical way. And the next one, again, some few results that we got for biosorption. And as I mentioned, we go from bench studies. On the left, you can see the static experiments that we do in the laboratory, and then in the middle, we continue it for dynamic studies, which is the intermediate step that we should conduct before we go for large-scale experiments. And on the right, we can see the reactor. So we designed these reactors in our laboratory to see whether we can do the removal of pollutants under prototype measurements, and the next step is the commercialization. So we have been able to get many patents for this approach, towards commercialization of effluent treatment methods. Okay, then before I wind up, the note of appreciation. Okay. So first and foremost, I would like to express my gratitude for the continued unconditional support and cooperation extended by the officers and the members of the Council of the Institute of Chemistry Ceylon during the present council year 2023-24. And the council year will be ending in a few days on the 30th of June 2024, and the President-elect, Priyantha will take over. Priyantha, so you have then the responsibility. I'm also much thankful to the members of all statutory committees and subcommittees of the Institute for the immense contribution despite their busy schedules. Then the extensive and untiring contribution of the academic staff of the Institute, administrative staff, and the non-academic staff of the Institute has been very, very valuable for the operation of the activities of the Council. The services of the visiting academic staff and the others who supported us, especially the academic instructions provided by visiting staff, is really, really important. And because of their commitment, together with the internal academic staff members, we were able to complete the programs on time, and the convocation was conducted without a delay. And moreover, I'm much thankful to the government and private sector organizations and international organizations, and also many well-wishers who contribute to the success of the programs of the Institute. Okay? And finally, I apologize if I have left any person or institution. Okay? Now, I'm positive that the new council and the new members of committees led by the incoming President, Priyantha, together with the members and the staff of the Institute of Chemistry, will take the Institute to a greater height. I congratulate each one of them. Thank you.